You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts now.
I am back. Rodrance for Black and White Sports 2. Well, sometimes I'm just going to be honest. I'll do a video just because it's something that interests me. Was into powerlifting, bodybuilding for years. Never really competed, just trained with a lot of powerlifters, trained with a lot of bodybuilders. Really hard from about 96 through about 2009 or 10. And actually, I've been back lifting about 9 months now. And really, I've lifted about 2 out of the last 3 years, I guess. I had another little 6-month layoff in there. In between, and that's what happens when you get busy, you get a family, yada, yada, yada. And that's neither here nor there, but I saw this story and I was like, okay, this is of interest to me because as we know, we've chronicled this over on the bigger channel. Sometimes on this channel, we've talked about it, of course, biological men competing in women's sports, complete unfair competitive advantages. I mean, no greater example of this in any sport than powerlifting, right? Weightlifting. It's something where a man is going to dominate a woman based on cartilage, joints, overall strength, testosterone, yada, yada, yada. Never mind years of competition. And what's happened in powerlifting is you've got a scenario now where biological men are saying, hey, I'm female, and they're going over to compete against women, and they're dominating. Okay, in most cases, it is guys that have lifted for years and years. So we have a male powerlifter that for 1 week decided to identify as a woman, but in this case, he did it to protest and make a very obvious and valid point. Now, USA Powerlifting recently came out and said that they are going to allow biological men to compete against women, sort of the death of powerlifting. This is an androus. This is a male who identifies as a woman, literally making fun of women's bench pressing, which is just insane. Dude, you are a dude. You are a dude saying you're a woman, going out and dominating women, and then making fun of the women that you're dominating. It's about the most pansy-ass mama's boy thing I can possibly think of. I mean, maybe you should be competing against the women because obviously you have no balls.
Why is women's bench so bad? I mean, not compared to me. We all know that I'm a tranny freak, so that doesn't count. And no, we're not talking...
A tranny freak. I mean, he's proud of this. He's proud that he goes in and dominates against women.
About Mackenzie Lee, she's got little T-Rex arms and she's like 400 pounds of chest muscle, apparently. I mean, standard bench in powerlifting competition for women, I literally don't understand why it's so bad.
I mean, it's unbelievable. And the lack of self-awareness from this person just to go out and dog out women when he is a biological male competing against women and dominating them. I mean, that's a repulsive human being, in my opinion. It truly is. This is truly the death of women's sports. This is an androus. This is the person I just showed you. And I got to be real with you because essentially you are a dude going out there and you are competing. And at 185, and this is your actual weights. I mean, you've got a competition here in nationals in Canada at 253 pounds, and these are your lifts. As a dude, these are your lifts. And yes, I know you're technically speaking in their little world, you're competing as a female, but you are a biological dude. These are embarrassing totals. For a biological man that is competing at 253 pounds, look, if you weighed 165, I could... or even 180, I'd be like, okay, that's kind of respectable. But you're a 253-pound individual. I can tell you right now, at around between 198 and 205, I have destroyed all of these lifts. I can just tell you right now. And we had guys in the gym, random guys just like me, that could have outdone this person all the way across the board, raw. That means no equipment, no suits, nothing. I think the best deadlift I ever had was about 605. And look, I if you were just some regular dude, I would have respect for these totals. I would. But I don't have respect for them as you go out there and compete against women and then make fun of women while you're putting up these kind of totals that are shameful as a dude in competition. Look, if you were just starting out, that'd be fine. But you've obviously competed for a while and you weren't cutting it as a man, as a biological man against other men. You weren't cutting it. You found out, I can't compete, so I'm going to go out and I'm going to compete against females. That's one way to go, I guess. Let me show you real fast. This is one of the guys that used to come in and lift with us. About once every 6 weeks, we'd form a deadlift line in the gym, me and a couple of my partners. And every now and then, comes sauntering from catty corner across the street was this guy by the name of John Enzer. He's considered at one time, pound for pound, still is, the greatest deadlifter of all time. He weighed 165 pounds here. And this is him right here. He's about to pull a 780 at 165. It's absurd. And John was freakishly strong. And this is John right here. He's about to pull. Yes, John had that long hair. I mean, just... Now that, folks, that is strength. That is strength. Let's give him a little love right there. Okay. That is strength. And in case you're wondering, Enzer, that sounds familiar. Yes, he is the guy that owns Enzer Advanced Designs, the powerlifting suits. And yeah, I had the honor of being able to deadlift with the guy, probably 4 or 5 times over 10 years. He would randomly come in. He could walk into a gym completely cold and deadlift 405 pounds 10 times. No warm-ups, nothing. Probably weighing 160, 158, 160. He could walk in, walk up to the platform, pull 405 10 times, no warm-up. Now, let's get to the actual story. Now that I'm past this, we're 8 minutes into the video, and I haven't even got to it. Male powerlifting coach breaks women's record to protest trans inclusion policy. Yeah, this is Avi Silverberg, a head coach for Team Canada Powerlifting. He decided to, quote, self-identify as a woman and broke the provincial record in Alberta, Canada for women's bench press in the heaviest weight class to protest the growing penetration of men competing in women's sports via transgender policies. So what this guy did was he walked in and said, I'm going to break this record out of nowhere. I'm just going to walk in and break it. And just to prove a point. Let's see if we can actually see this. Okay. Here's Avi about to do the bench press. Right here. And as you can see, I mean, he completely manhandled that weight. And what's funny is the former record holder, trans-identifying male, and androus, this person right here had a front row view as Silverberg mocked the discriminatory CPU policy by unofficially breaking the women's world record in the event, USA Powerlifting, and of course tagged a lot of different people in that, a lot of different organizations. But he walked in to make a point. A male powerlifting coach self-identified as a woman and broke the women's bench press record in protest of gender self-identification in the sport. Avi Silverberg performed the defiant act while the current record holder, a transgender male, watched. I mean, absolutely hilarious. Hilarious. The bench press competition was held under the sanction of the Canadian Powerlifting Union. In February, the CPU began allowing men describing themselves as women to compete in women's powerlifting competitions. The CPU's, quote, trans inclusion policy declared its acceptance of left-wing neologisms and associated concepts such as cisgender, gender expression, and gender identity. Competitors in CPU-sanctioned events should be able to participate in the gender with which they identify and not be subject to requirements for disclosure of personal information beyond those required of cisgender athletes, according to the powerlifting organization's policy. So, in other words, this guy made a joke out of their policy. He walked in, said, "Yeah, I'm identifying as a woman this week." He walks in and shows them up. I think there might be a better picture of this guy actually on here. Let me see if I can. Yeah, let me show you what this dude looks like. I mean, he's a total hoss. This guy is a total hoss. This dude walked in, said, for a week, I'm going to identify as a woman to set down. Number one, I'm going to break this record in front of Ann Andrus, who's been dominating women and then making fun of women's bench presses, by the way. Making fun of women's bench presses. Making fun of women. I mean, made that video making fun of their bench press, even though he's a biological male. And look, I would have no problems with this dude if he was trying to compete against women, and I wouldn't have any problems with his totals. But if you're going to go out there and you're going to make fun of women and all this shit, dude, your lifts are embarrassing as a biological male. They are. If you were just some dude in the gym, I'd give you all the credit in the world. I would. But the fact that you want to go out there and run your mouth and make fun of women, I mean, it's awesome that this Uncle Jesse right here, this Uncle Jesse walked in and destroyed your record just to prove a point. And Avi Silverberg is also proving a point that this entire thing is a joke when it comes to competitive balance. Women's sports is getting pissed all over because of people like Ann Andrus competing in it, and Lia Thompson and CC Telfer and Alana McLaughlin in MMA, and who else is in powerlifting in the Olympics? Laurel Hubbard is another one. It's a dude competing against women. It's shameful shit. That is truly shameful. It really is. Wow. Tell me what you think, Black and White Sports 2 supporters. I know you may be thinking, wow, this video is random for this channel. But, you know, it is what it is. Occasionally, I'm going to do one of these videos that hits close to home, or it's something I've got an interest in or whatever. And this is nuts, is what it is. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.